Hey, real quick, make sure you subscribe, like, and follow this podcast anywhere you're listening to it. You can leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That kind of stuff really helps us out, so we appreciate it there. You can follow us on Instagram at Gear and Beer Podcast. If you like the music that you hear in this episode, there will be links to my music anywhere that you're checking it out in the show notes as well. So until next time, enjoy the podcast, keep jamming, and we'll see you.
Gear and Beer.
Welcome back to Gear and Beer. Today our guest is Martin McDaniel, a.k.a. the marvelous Marvin McDowell.
Oh, yeah.
Pride of L.A., prime export of L.A., and yes, I do mean Lower Alabama.
That's right.
From Opp, Alabama. Mr. Martin McDaniel. Martin, thanks for coming, man.
Dude,
Cheers.
thanks for having me.
Death Raptors.
That's right.
For life. With your Albert Lee.
That's right.
What did I say earlier?
Martin McLee.
No, I said
McLee.
Alton McLee.
Alton McLee. Yeah.
We the Marvin McDowell thing, LINDON, is at one point I just decided to take the first initial, the number of syllables, and then give everybody a fake name, and it was Marvin McDowell. His brother's Wright McDaniel, and we called him Walt McShivitz.
Yeah. Rupert Milton.
I was Rupert Milton.
Larry Hang, which was kind of a common one for him
Larry
at the time. Shay was Shemp Hartley.
Yeah. Now he's saved. He's saved in my phone as Shrimpington Salad. and underneath in a note it says fat ass throat.
What the?
We were on a gig at Wild Horse. It was me and Holland and Rob and Shay, and like some lady was in the front was being so annoying and like trying to like talk to Holland, and during every song while she's singing, and she came back to the talk back and she goes, "If this bitch up front don't get it together, I'm gonna kick her in her fat ass throat." and then everybody proceeded to laugh until we cried. It was good. Anyway, so Albert Lee.
Yeah, buddy.
How long have you had that? I've not seen that.
I got it last year. A producer friend of mine, Phil Billy, he was looking for a baritone. I happened to have one. He had this thing sitting in a case.
Yeah, what baritone you said earlier? I forgot.
PRS, Mike Mashak, the guy from Stained.
Yeah,
baritone.
yeah.
And he was like, I got this thing from Ernie Ball years ago when I was playing with Craig Morgan. It's been sitting in this case. I mean, the strings on it had to have been 20-year-old the first time I played it. I was like, wow, I'm going to need a tetanus shot.
They're like LINDON strings after he plays it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. They were.
Oh, Lyndon McCarty twisting and tweaking. That's 2 episodes in a row. I forgot about that. Doing great.
You did it last time.
I did it, but I forgot. And I said, oh, by the way, there's this other guy over here doing all this stuff. Anyway, you're talking about Mike Mashak.
Yeah. I just, Phil Billy was like, I want a baritone. He was like, if you'll trade me, I'll trade you straight up. And I was like, absolutely, I'll trade you. Because I had another baritone. I have several.
Do you take that thing out?
Yeah, I've been playing it a bunch. It took me a little while to get used to it because they feel so much smaller.
It looks like it was
so
designed for The Simpsons.
It's an odd shape, but it plays and sounds great.
It's just got that angular really cool. Kind of late 80s, early 90s thing for sure.
I think 94, 95 or so when they came out. I don't even know what year this one is.
Is it a roasted maple neck?
No,
Or a bird's
I think
eye or
it's just
something?
it's a bird's eye, yeah.
Looks awesome.
But it sounds good. It'll do the telly thing, which is
It's got such a crazy patina. It almost looks like the fretboard is dirty,
it's just
but it's just like a bunch of nuances of the wood.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I've not
It
seen
is
one
also
quite like that.
it is also kind of dirty. I've been playing.
I mean, sure,
crap
but
out of
it ain't that dirty.
No.
That's definitely part of the wood.
Yeah.
You brought this other guitar I'll talk about later.
Yeah. That's the Silvercaster or Daddy Caster, or what did you call it earlier?
The what in the Helicaster?
What in the Helicaster? Yeah. Yeah.
I got a dog laying at my feet. You can't see it, but he's there. Here, I'm going to take a picture, and I'll put the picture in there.
You can't use one of the 10 you've already taken today?
I don't think oh, no, I did take this one, but that's okay. I'm going to take it again. I just got, my wife texted me that he was supposed to go get groomed tomorrow, but his groomer's in the hospital, which is a weird text to get.
Wow.
Man, it's getting hot in here. Is it hot, Jill? No, it's only 75. I had the thermometer in my pocket. I was like, what is in my
It
pocket?
looked like it was going down too.
So stupid.
You're welcome.
Therm Pro.
Yeah, man, that's like the Amazon special. My other one broke. I have one of these 4-prong Bluetooth, barbecue thermometers or whatever. And I got either a port or I think it's a port, because I think I switched the cables and it ended up one of the ports is on the fritz, which sucks because
That does suck.
I'll be using it. 2 into something, and 1 at the front and 1 at the back of the cooking service, just to monitor temperature. I smoked burgers tonight. There'll be stuff on Bobby Jam's kitchen for that. Man,
They were good, delicious.
they were not what I was looking for, but they weren't bad.
great.
They weren't bad. I think they were undersalted and didn't get hit with enough smoke.
I thought they were great. I'm full, so
Well, fair enough. I guess that's all it really matters. And I did make the buns myself, and I thought the buns were really good.
I didn't know you made the buns. I mean, I guess I should have known that,
Oh, I made the buns.
but they were delicious.
I went to the store this morning to get whole milk to make the buns. It's like a half Japanese milk bread, half brioche bun.
Nice. Well, it was delicious.
It's not very hard to make, but they are really good. And there's no a bunch of dough conditioners and preservatives and
Extra
shit that
junk.
make you feel like when you're done. Anyway, last time I saw you, we ate stuff too
We did.
in
Yep.
San Diego this weekend.
Yep.
At
Tacos.
Mitch's Seafood. Highly recommend. It's my go-to spot in San Diego.
It was delicious.
On the pier on Point Loma. I believe that's where it was. I can't remember. I've been there, I don't know, 5 or 6 times in the last year. It's a lot of times to go to San Diego in 1 year, I guess, but that's kind of the way it ends up.
It's not a bad place to go that many times.
No, it's really not. I every time I go there, I'm like, man, it would be awesome to live there. And then like a few minutes later, I'm like, man, it would suck to live here.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, I'm like, man, it would be awesome to live here. And it's just
Yeah.
kind of like back and forth until you just like, you know what, I'm just going home. But I wanted to get the whole story about this extremely ridiculous flight that you took back from there.
Jesus. We left to go to the airport at 6:00 on Monday.
Pacific time?
Yes. And our flight left at 8:45, or was supposed to leave at 8:45. It got pushed back. We didn't leave till after 9. Flew all the way to Newark, New Jersey. Then flew from there to Washington, D.C.
How long was your layover in Newark?
About an hour and a half. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half. Like by the time you get landed, get out of the plane, get to the other gate, we had just a little while.
So that was like what, 5 or 6 in the morning? 5 in the morning?
Yeah, it was 5 in the morning, 5:30 something. Our other plane left there at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. I think it was 7 something. So we left at 7, landed in freaking DC at
7:15.
Yeah, fairly quick. And then we had about an hour and a half layover there, something like that. I don't know. I was kind of out of it at that point, but enough time to get a Chick-fil-A biscuit and sit down for a second. And
That's
get back on the plane.
That's one perk to not flying on a Sunday is you can get a Chick-fil-A biscuit.
That is true.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Chick-fil-A biscuit. That sounds good.
It was
Even
good.
though I'm
It was pretty
so
good.
full that I'm about to explode.
I also feel that.
Death Raptor.
Yeah, buddy.
We'll have to make up for no beer last week, so I think we're off to a good start.
We are.
We're plugged in, right? Turn that thing on. What's on there? The compressor. On some H90 stuff too.
Just the compressor's on right now. There may be some verb coming from the aux or something. That's the H90.
It's a really clear sounding guitar.
Yeah. It's a good sounding guitar. I was really
Is that bite coming from the amp or from that compressor?
probably the amp.
Oh, so the amp is off camera. Tell us what you're playing through.
It's a Modrotone Hatteras. It's 100 watts. It's KT 66s, I think, or 88s. I can't even remember. One of the KT big, humongous ass tubes.
KT66. That's a SVT tube, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I got about 500 tubes over there in that one.
I also have one of those.
No, you got like a blue line though, like a real blue line.
73.
73.
Yeah,
That's
$200.
Mine's a VR with a Johnny Stanton special second fan installed in the back because he was trying to run it at 2 ohms and it was overheating.
It's funny you say that, the fan thing. The guy that I bought mine from, he was a tech, roadie, sound guy, road crew guy for Atlanta Rhythm Section.
Oh yeah.
And some of that gear came from there. But he would install fans on the sides and the backs of those Marshalls and those SVTs for those guys to keep their tubes lasting longer, just because how hot they were running.
Well, you play outside in the South, you're about to make it even worse.
And so that
Dime
SVT,
to amp in the Georgia summer or the
Yeah.
Alabama or the Texas or the Arizona summer, like any of that shit.
all the South.
Do you remember that one time that you spilled a beer into the top of your Marshall at the stage?
Yeah,
And
a Heineken, yeah.
yeah, and the freaking tube shattered, and you go,
And I
turn it off.
Yeah, that's why I bring 2 amps.
Yeah, man. That's
Most everywhere. Yes, I do remember. I sat a Heineken. It was almost empty. The Heineken was, and I sat it on there, and we were rocking along. And I noticed that my amp started sounding funny, and I turned around, and the Heineken's laid over, and it's got the grill vent thing in the back. And there's
no.
Heineken poured
That's
off
not
in
what
there.
happened.
No?
No. You set it down, and it fell over, and it happened in front of our faces, and you go, and then turned your amp
Okay.
off.
I've had a lot to drink.
It's
since then,
been like 6,000 gigs ago.
yeah, it was a long time.
I
ago.
just remember it
I just
because
know it was Heineken. I do
it was,
remember.
no,
that
it was
a Heineken.
absolutely a Heineken.
And the Heineken was almost gone.
I believe that same night, someone poured a beer into this 412 cab. They fell and like or maybe it's security was like escorting them and knocked their beer into it. But it was like it happened at like 2:20 a.m. on that Friday night gig.
Oh yes. Many years of that gig.
Yeah. I think I did, 3 years of it with you?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't long after that we left and got bought out by the Paradise Park folks.
Oh, yeah. May she rest in peace. I flew out Friday morning, and I went in, and Dan was singing at Old Red, and Rob and I were sitting at a little table right outside.
Dan Smalley?
Yeah.
At the one at the thing was
At the
Punchy
airport.
there?
Well, so we're sitting out at the table, and Rob goes, "Hey, there's Punchy," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Hell yes!" So I went and talked to Punchy, and I fucking love that dude.
I do too, man.
It was so good to see him. I just like busted open to the kitchen door because I could see him standing there. I was like, "Punchy, we need you." And he turned around. I was like, and then he saw me. And he was like, "Oh, what's up?"
I love Punchy, man. Every time I go to the airport early, I always try and swing by there because he works early mornings, and he's gone way different from the old days when we were leaving the early mornings.
Yeah, and he was making us a Mack truck at 3:15 a.m.
I was like, I asked him the last time we were in there if he was making Mack trucks out there at the Old Red. I'm like, that should be a thing on the menu.
It shouldn't be a thing on the menu. It should be a by Punchy special request only.
That was so good.
He did tell me some things about the airport that I found interesting that I didn't know, which is that they have to be open an hour and a half before the first flight. They don't have to have music going at that point, but they have to be open, bar and restaurant, an hour and a half. So like 3:30 a lot of mornings.
Jesus.
And they can't close.
We had barely had the band stopped at 3:30 at Paradise Park.
Exactly.
Good Lord.
Yeah. They also have to stay open until the last flight boards, and every fourth day in the C terminal, there's 4 different. There's Tootsie's, 400 degrees or whatever, 3 casks.
Is that the Juvenile record?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Old Red. There's the four big full service restaurants that they have to take turns. If there's any delays, they have to stay open. Everybody else can close, but it's one of the restaurants to stay open until everybody's gone, so they have somewhere to go and eat and drink or whatever.
Wow, I'm glad they follow that rule here because most airports, like in San Diego, no, they don't give a shit.
I'm not sure that they follow that. I'm sure that Old Red follows that because that's what Punchy is doing, and he just a by the book kind of a guy. But were you on that gig where that guy was choking Mike and Punchy?
All hell broke loose.
Yeah,
and the whole place went to nuts.
Yeah, and
yes.
Punchy ran across stage and did a flying elbow into that guy.
First time ever.
I was over there in Miller's Corner. I saw it all.
I played at Paradise Park for years. I mean, from like I moved here in 2008. I started playing there probably in 2008. First time ever. I'm talking about over Sunday nights where it was nobody in there, nothing. First time ever the bar closed early. Ever. I never played in there where the bar closed early. You remember they got done with that and Mike was like, "We're done. It's over."
Oh, I remember.
I was like, "Whoa."
He got choked and that was all there was.
Yep. Damn.
I just remember being like, I was like, "Oh, do I need to do something?" And then I didn't because Punchy was there immediately.
And Tim came flying over the bar. Dude.
Man, I texted him. He didn't respond to me. I have a 6.5 hour layover in Denver on Sunday.
You should send him a message on Instagram. That's how I talked to him last time I talked to him. Or maybe it was Facebook.
I texted him before my wedding, and he responded. And then I texted him since, and he's not responded. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, tell me more about this Mojo Tone. I think you used to have it back when we were playing together, but you had just got it.
I got it right when they first came out. This was like a prototype or something. And it's 100 watts. The clean channel is super, Fender-esque, like lots of good headroom, big, beefy
So it's
sounding.
2 channels?
It is 2 channels.
So it's like the classic modded Bassman thing then? Like a Marshall and a Fender thing?
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, and then
Sounds really
also
good in that jam.
it also has a boost in it built into it, and the the power amp section has a presence and a depth knob, so even if you turn it down, you can adjust to make it feel a little bit bigger, like even if you're having to run at lower volumes, which is incredible because it is 100 watts.
Yeah.
But it will do lower volumes pretty well. Like, I don't feel like I've lost a whole lot if I have to turn it down a good bit.
Didn't get all thin and puny.
Yeah, and terrible sounding, yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
It's a great freaking amplifier.
How many of those do you have?
I only have one. I would like to have 4, but I only have one. I have a lot of other things, but that's been. I just got it back. It was messed up for a little while. It kept blowing main.
What do I know that
power
from?
fuses?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I got it fixed, and then it blew a fuse or something. I changed the fuse. It didn't work, and I left it sitting there. I was like, I'll have to mess with it later. Finally, I was like, all right, I'm get it fixed. I sent it with Eddie, and he took it out to Kevin Shaw, and Kevin Shaw opened it up, put some new fuses in it, fired it right up. I'm like, you're kidding me. He's like, no, it's working. I was like, I swear I changed the fuses. It did not work. He was like, well, it's working now. I was like, sweet. All right.
Here's $14 for 30 seconds of bench time.
I'm sending him several more amps because I've got several amps that need some work done on them right now. But
I just recently got this Marshall, my Pro, and Samson C30 that I sold out of the shop. And since I finally got all of those fixed, now half of my pedals have broken. One of my DIs broke. Both of my gig bags are falling apart.
It's a never-ending battle.
It's like, I'm just trying to get ahead of the game, and I can't even keep what I've got. And I put it in really nice cases, and I baby it, and it still breaks. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me why.
I don't know. It's just one. It's always one thing after another, especially if you're traveling.
All my junk breaks at the same time, and I tell you what, they handle stuff so roughly when you're flying. Like, I have this power supply.
Riveted.
No, what's the
Dual
damn
locked.
dual locked on the underside?
I thought you were saying you were riveted by his silence.
I'm riveted.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
Great story. Tell it again.
Riveting.
And it was dual locked anywhere, and it's been in trailers all around downtown, every scenario, and 2 flights in a row. I opened it and it's hanging, and I'm just like, can't even imagine what kind of force that would take. So now I've got it zip tied and dual locked, and it's not come off. But
that's good, because if they break the zip ties and it comes off, they've clearly thrown it from the plane before it landed.
Yeah, I mean, I
just see what's happening.
I just can't even imagine what they're doing.
Also, same deal. Like I had obviously not this one.
Did you fly with this?
No,
okay.
I had a different one, and I actually just shoved that one. It's just one of the single nano things.
Nano or Nano Plus?
I don't know.
Is it this long?
Yeah, it's probably about that long.
It's a
just
Nano
half
Plus.
the size, but I just stuffed it in my suitcase and threw it under the plane. But I had a big board that had the RJM switcher on it.
Yeah, your Pro.
All the stuff, not that one. It's the smaller one that has the PVC 6X. So the smaller version of the big one.
Okay.
And I got it back. Like, everything is dual locked, and like cables are tied down tight. So like everything is sitting on there where it's not going to move. And I got it back. I opened it up, and I mean, my pedals were turned over, flipped on top of each other. Things were I'm like, how did this even happen? How is that even possible? It was like they were like, let's go stick this thing in this industrial dryer in here before we run it out on the belt. And
they probably just pulled it off and were like, let's see if I can get this off of here.
Yeah.
Did you take one of those mono bags on the plane?
Oh, yeah, every time.
So you can get clips to like clip the nano bag to it?
It's that big one. Like the one that I've got is the bigger one. I don't think they make a...
It doesn't really...
It's too long for the tick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eddie's got the one with the tick on it, But that tick also makes it hard to get it up in the overhead sometimes because it's so big and it's flopping around.
Man, you know
and
what?
stuff.
What I've been doing is I take a bungee cable and I just the pocket zipper's been broken on mine forever, so I just stuff my pedal board case into that and then I bungee it closed, and it always fits on a Southwest flight.
My case is,
Oh, you have a double case. That's why.
I have a double case. Both of my double cases are just completely falling apart.
Dude, mine's
the
just
seams. I don't think there's a solid seam on the whole thing.
That's why mine looks even way more ragtag, and it's been ragtag for 8 years.
Well,
Same.
I've had it for like 13 or 12 years.
I've had mine probably about 10 or 12. And I even retired that one for a while when I got this Revival Blue, whatever that thing, Reunion. Yeah, Reunion Blues, not Revival. But and then friggin' 3 months in, I broke the strap on it for the shoulder strap, and I'm like, damn it. I went back to the other one. Now I just one strap that one and dual strap the other one. It's
Are you taking you taking 4 guitars on the road?
Like on fly dates?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
On our road dates, on when we're pulling
you get a vault.
I have a vault. Yeah, I was gonna say I have way more than 4 when we
have like
we do that.
A rolling vault.
We've got a 13.
Probably has 2 if I.
We have a 13 guitar vault and we have a 7 guitar vault.
Sick, man.
We don't take them all to everything. The 13 guitar vault stays in there all the time. It's actually 10 guitars and 3 basses. And then I have my.
How many of those guitars are Eddie's? 2. 3.
Well, there's 4 slots in there for Eddie's guitars, and then 5 are mine, and then the 3 basses. But then we also have our gig bags that have other guitars that we like switch in and out. And we have a stand right there at side stage where guitars will come out of there. They've been tuned. They get put over there, and then tech hands them off, whatever. But yeah,
what guitar are you playing most of the time?
Lots of gear.
That's the Martin McDaniel way.
I do. I like it.
I also like.
I still play. I play this one a lot, but I still play that yellow, early '90s Telecaster a lot. I have several tellies out. It just kind of depends on the tune. I try and keep it kind of the way I recorded them. If I did them in a certain way or played a certain guitar, that's kind of what I want to play when I'm doing it. But
totally.
Sometimes if I'm running stuff back and forth and it's a guitar, same tuning, nothing's different, then I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and play the same one. But I play that Telecaster a lot, that R9 that I've got over here. I still play it a ton. But yeah, main guitars, still those same ones are my staples, the ones that I take when I'm going places.
That makes sense.
Deer and beer.
North Carolina.
Okay.
Like Raleigh area.
Yeah. I'm going to be there this weekend, or in that area this weekend.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm playing, well, I'm not, because it's for Sam Jones and those people. So all those barbecue people are going to be there.
I don't know Sam Jones.
You don't know Sam Jones? He does the whole hog barbecue and all that stuff. He's the pit master that was on the Carolina sauce when they put out those pit master select sauces for, I don't know, Heinz or KC Masterpiece, one of them fucking places.
I thought the guy was out there was I'm not gonna be able to come up with it, but a different name that I associate out there that I can't come up with.
Well, like he's the one that helped.
Black guy?
What?
Black guy?
No, he's white.
Yeah, the guy I'm thinking of is a black guy, and I cannot fucking remember his name. He's a whole hog. He's South Carolina guy, but or no, maybe he's
Byron. No, not Byron.
About Byron Mixon or whatever.
No, I know Byron Mixon. I'm trying to think of like Sam runs with all those dudes, like Matt Pittman, Meat Church guy, all that stuff. Like a few months ago, Meat Church dude did a whole hog barbecue on the freaking center block racks. That was Sam and Michael Lynchworth.
God, what's the fucking guy's name? I can't think of it. Something James. Anyway, whatever.
Him and Pat Martin and freaking Peg Leg guy down there and all those dudes, they're all super close.
My old neighbor across the street is Pat Martin's cousin. He's a fucking pretty mean barbecuer himself.
Yeah.
Also a convicted felon.
Oh, okay. Well,
He got in a bar fight, and the guy walked away, but he died later. So he went to jail for manslaughter for 10 years.
Jesus.
Yeah. Do you know who John Stone is, presumably?
Yeah.
He's the same size, from Alabama. They look the same. They sound the same. They're the same dude, except for they're different dudes.
Except for John Stone didn't kill anybody
Except
that
for
we
John
know
Stone
of.
didn't kill anybody that we know of.
Yeah.
He's got longer hair.
I love John Stone. He's always been so cool, man. Back when I first started playing gigs down on Broadway, we played every Monday at Second Fiddle, and he played every Monday at Tootsie's. And
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he would come in on his break, and he always, every single time he walked through there, would drop a 20 in the jug. Every time. And I always thought that was so cool. Like, he didn't freaking know us from shit, and he just freaking dropping his own money in there on a dead-ass night. Because Mondays back in the day, it's probably not like this anymore.
It's not.
But Mondays back in the day, it was.
I mean, I had that
slow.
damn Paradise Park residency late shift on Mondays for 4 years, and it was not like I've played some late shifts. I mean, Paradise Park versus like the stage is always going to be different, but I played a bunch of those late shifts with Jared, and it dies in there too. Starts off a lot better because Holland brings everybody in. It's packed when Jared and them start. And then everybody's like, it's midnight. It's Monday. I'm not getting out of here.
Used to though. See, that was the thing. The place that would be busy down there was the stage, because Randy Nations played on Monday nights. And it was Rock Mondays, and those guys killed, man. There were always people.
The
there.
late shift.
Yes,
Yeah.
late shift. Yep, it was John Stone at Tootsie's. We played at Second Fiddle. Gypsy played on and off for a while. I don't know if you remember Gypsy.
That ain't a thing I know.
The Three Sisters and the brother Frank. Lily Mae plays fiddle for Jack White now. Anyways, they played, but it was a wild time. And like Crossroads and Full Moon and all those places, they closed.
Crossroads, rest in peace.
They closed at midnight. So like Harry played on Monday nights over at Crossroads, and I feel like Travis.
The Mobley gig.
Yeah,
or something?
Travis Mobley played. I don't think it was his gig though. I think he was just playing keys, and then Harry was playing bass or drums or something. And then they would always come over, and like everybody would always end up at Second Fiddle, but it was always just musicians, so it was a fun time. But I mean, times were slow. That cross the street side, the redheaded stepchild of Broadway side, they were closed by midnight.
Over there by Rippy's Sad Room.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Rippy's Sad Room.
Somebody said that. I never took credit for that. But
I thought all those Tootsie's rooms
That's
were
amazing,
Sad Room.
the Rippy's Sad Room is one of the best. That one, and I think I'm claiming it, but FML House.
Oh, God. Any of those places that have the freaking all DI electronic drums, those are all sad houses.
I'm playing a private event at Luke Bryan's, and we're bringing in acoustic drums for our private event.
Yes. Thank God.
Man,
What a soul
I've got
killer.
this day.
Good
I've got
Lord.
this day in April where we have our regular Monday night. We have a load in into the Marriott or something, one of those big hotels right downtown for some conference where we'll play our 6 to 10, and then we play at 7 a.m. one song, and then we play that night at Luke Bryan's club, and I'll tell y'all off camera how much money that's fin to be. It's insane.
Who's it for?
With Whiskey Cash.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it
I
some
don't-
hiring thing, or just like multiple situations that are falling together on the same day?
No, it's the same thing on those on that Tuesday morning and the Tuesday night. But like Holland's she's just working it, man.
Beast mode.
She's on top and she's in charge, and she does as Rob Deerdeck used to say, she does work, son. She do work, son. Wasn't that Rob, or was that Black that said that?
That sounds like something Big Black would say.
Yeah, it's probably Big Black. Do work, son. I used to I have a buddy that I used to play in a recreational basketball league with back in Texas, and his jersey said "Do work, son" on the back of it. Anyway, you got a bunch of cool repeater buttons. Play some sounds, man.
There's a bunch of cool stuff. Like the coolest thing right now is definitely this freaking H90. This thing is so cool.
That thing is real cool. Just a little verb and delay.
There's so many sounds that you could never use them all.
They're all really clean sounding, though.
Very, very clean sounding.
Oh, is that like a cloud verb and some delays?
Yeah, it says
like a shimmer or something.
It's an ultra tap and a black hole, which I don't know what the ultra tap is.
Oh, because they're just like patch names. I haven't had an H9 or the H90, so I don't really know.
So this is like two H9s in one thing, but
Right.
it's a lot more user friendly. It's easier to dial on the fly. Like I can reach down and change some stuff and make it do something else.
There's a bunch of more controls on it. For sure.
with the H9, there was just so much you really needed to do from the app to like get it. Unless you had it set up in presets, then you can just bank through and go. But if you needed to change something on the fly, it was kind of a pain. But also, you could only go one effect at a time, so that's why my big board had two of them on there, because I like the reverbs.
A lot of people's boards
and
had two of them.
Reverbs and the delays and Jesus, everything else is on there.
Can you assign things to different sides of the stereo outs?
Yes, a full routing capability.
So it is for real two H9s.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool. Is that dry or is there something on it? Oh no, there's something there.
A tape and a spring reverb.
Very slight.
Yeah, I've got it kind of dialed in low because everything else is so.
Man, that drive sounds
so crazy
fantastic.
On there. That's just the amp. It's because I've got that. So on the clean channel on this amp, you can do like a grit or a clean, so you can get it on the edge of breakup just a little bit.
It's really clear.
It's kind of what I like. So that's usually how I run it.
I love the shoegaze patches.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Again,
it sounds like worship is about to start.
It does. Yeah. I haven't had it for very long.
I really want.
So I haven't had enough time to really dive into it. I made some presets and stuff for, tunes, kind of the way I was using the H9s. And just dialed them into single presets so I can just turn them on and it dials it right up. But this pedal board's super thrown together. I was saying earlier when we were talking before we started, Brad and them are redoing my rack rig with the MIDI controller out front. Just everything's on presets. It just makes it so much easier when I'm singing. I don't have to.
So you just have a foot switch out front?
Yeah, just like an RJM GT 16 or 22. I don't remember what it's called, but it's one of the RJM MIDI controllers.
Okay.
And then my rack has all the pedals in it, the Nobles
drawers
and all that stuff in drawers. Everything's racked up. I can just press it, and I can instant access from the thing change
It's a
on the fly.
lot of learning curve.
It's really not, man. With the way it's now. Let me back up. The MIDI programming, the MIDI shit. That's not my jam. I can't. It makes me angry. I'd start wanting to break shit. I'm not.
You have to
with
like
it.
send MIDI signals to other pedals, right?
Yeah, and it's also like you read the manual on something that says this does this at this number, and then you do it and they don't do it. That shit just drives me. I'm like, and I'm sure somebody who really knows it's probably like, oh, well, you're missing something here. I'm like, well, I ain't got time to figure that shit out. I got to figure out how to, how to make these next shows. So, Brad and those dudes, they're the shit. They freaking.
Yeah, we got a BTPA speaker cable connecting my matchless right now.
Absolutely.
He made all these cables for me on my board. He made all these microphone cables. He made these.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier.
Coming
right?
out of the aux box.
Dude, they're the best.
Brad's the shit. I know him because of you. As a matter of fact, this 50-foot speaker cable he gave me one time when we showed up there on the way to Bub City.
Man,
We'll link it.
They always load us up, and they're the freaking greatest people. I mean,
Yeah, Brad, come down here and be on the podcast.
Come
man.
on, Brad.
Bring us
Damn.
a sticker and some cables.
And some cables.
No, Brad's good ass people. What's his uncle's name? Brian?
Brian, yep.
Yeah.
Brian's kind of the head of the company, and him and his dad, Brian, and Brad's dad, Kip. And just wonderful people. Just
Brad's a great dude.
the best folks. So not only are they really good at all that shit, they're awesome people. So that's good. And they like bourbon and cigars and things like that, which we love that.
We really do. We're a fan of that here on the Gear and Beer podcast. So turn that H90 off. I want to hear that Pink Panther for a second. That JHS multi delay. Is that what they're billing it as? Do you know?
It's like a
It's like a multifunction taper digital delay.
yeah, it'll do like taper digital. Man, yeah, it's solid. I just keep it kind of on the dotted 8 thing.
I have a stupid question for a guy that's doing a podcast called Gear and Beer, but what exactly is a bucket brigade delay? Do you know?
I think it's the style of chip that's in it, but I'm as far as that
So it's
kind of
just like
stuff.
a particular color to the repeats, then probably.
I think so. I think it has to do with a chip. I think the bucket brigade is something to do with a chip.
Because Strymon
Don't quote me on that shit because
Strymon's got that. I forget what it's called, but they got that one pedal,
the green pedal, like green colored
Lola or something like that. I can't remember, but
no, not Orbits. That's
Ola.
Ola.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just says D-bucket.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
The Bucket Brigade is a discrete time analog delay line developed in 69. The stored analog
good
signal.
69!
You guys are idiots. The stored analog signal is moved along the line of capacitors, one step at each clock cycle. The name comes from analogy with the term bucket brigade used for a line of people.
Speak
passing
English, Doc. We ain't
buckets of water.
scientists.
bucket. Well, all right.
I don't know
And that was a
what you just said.
We probably lost about as many listeners as we did when you guys spent 5 minutes on Tim Boucher. So
Wait, we're talking about Tim O'Shea?
win.
you talked about some bar fight. And Tim was there, I'm assuming.
Oh, Tim Russell.
Oh,
No,
Tim
we're talking
Russell.
about
Yeah,
Russell.
different.
I imagine Tim just fucking clocking somebody.
I have this picture.
and now
of
we're
Punchy.
talking about Tim Boucher.
I have a picture of Punchy smiling that I'm going to put in this episode. Will you make a note to put the Punchy picture in here? Because I will definitely forget.
Yeah, you were right about the circuit though, Martin.
Is it?
It's a shit thing.
Kind of the. Yeah.
That was just a educated guess. I've just heard people say something about chips and something. I don't know. I just like it if it sounds good.
Well,
you know?
my cap went down as we discussed before, and I borrowed one that threw back in there.
Oh, and it has that setting.
But I thought about just buying another delay just to have. And have you guys ever played the Providence Chrono delay?
No,
No, but I've seen it.
It's a great sounding pedal.
I like it.
I feel like I watched some demos or something.
I think it's like
I'm
a
always
like purple or pink pedal, and Boo used to have one. Of course, that dude only has the best sounding gear that I've ever heard. So
I'm always looking at the new stuff, trying to figure out what's going to be the next thing, that kind of deal. And like I go in phases. Like sometimes I'm completely happy with everything. I'm like, oh, this is fine. I don't need anything else. And then other times I'm like, I need everything else. I have to find.
All of this is trash. I need something new.
Yeah.
Been there.
So, my rig constantly changes. That's about the only thing that is consistent, is that it's going to change. But
hey, what'd that clock say over there?
You got
We're good?
more than 10.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about this plethora pedal. I don't never seen that. I don't know anything about it.
I saw Tim Pierce talking about it, and I was like, oh, it must be good. So I kind of started doing a little bit of research on it, and it's basically all those the TC Electronics like tone print pedals, all in like a 3-pedal, sort of like the M.
So TC
M9.
makes that pedal?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
TC pedal, and
this is all that pedal.
yeah,
Well, a little compressor at the beginning from the ego.
the ego, yeah. I don't know. This pedal board is all super thrown together right now, just because my other stuff is all in Chicago being worked on. So
Fair enough.
I just kind of threw this together before all this, but this is all kind of stuff I'm kind of working into new stuff and trying to decide whether they're going to save me a spot for it in the rack and that kind of deal. But I really like this plethora pedal, and it's super easy to use on the fly. So if I want to get something pulled up, it's easy to do. And that was, that's the issue I have with, like, I have the Strymon, the timelines and stuff like that. It's hard as shit to get those things dialed in on the fly, though. Like,
Yeah.
I lean over, they ain't got no markers on them, just words, and then I turn it, and it's got these weird, looks like something from the Predator movie on his watch. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? When it starts, you're trying to get it in, it's got all these weird symbols. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Just tell me what level I'm at with this thing. But this thing is super easy to use, and it's got all the different things in it, the reverbs, the delays, and then it's got this cool mash feature. I don't know what it does on which pedal, but sometimes you can see it up there in it. Oh, that's tap. It depends on what effect it's on, but it does all kind of crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah, so it's like a feedback button, essentially. It's like holding down the tap on the capstan or something. That's real clear.
But yeah, killer sounding pedal, and it works really good on the fly. So
All right, let's move down the line. What's this? Specular or pecular or what?
It's another reverb delay pedal.
Let's hear that one. It looks. I've never seen it. Never even heard of it. Oh.
Kind of does the same deal. Different, like, stacked reverbs and delays kind of deal on it.
Very shoegazer. I love shoegazer stuff, but I don't ever need it live, really. But it would come in real handy as doing trio stuff.
Yeah. Which is what we've been doing that recently. We've been doing a little more trio stuff. And this, I stuck this on here. Usually it's on that board with the PB6X, the PBC6X, the RGM thing, and so it's MIDI controlled, so it just switches whenever I need it. So I don't even know what's in here that I can get to. It's kind of another one of those pedals that's not as easy to work on the fly. Like, it has some knobs, but like you have to like press this knob and turn that knob to get it to do certain things, and I'm like, that's aggravating. But it works great with a MIDI controller, and it's an awesome sounding pedal.
Okay, so what's this Guapo?
It's called something else now. It's the what's his name? Asado, Mateus Asado.
Oh, okay.
It was his pedal, and then they originally called
Who
it
makes
the
it?
Jackson Audio.
Oh, okay.
And they originally called it the El Guapo, and apparently it was a name somebody was already using somewhere, so they had to change it. Now it's called the Asabi or something like that. But it's got several. It's another one of those things that was like MIDI controlled on that other pedal board. It has 4 or maybe 5 different like distortions each. Like if I hold this button, it starts flashing. Each color is a different distortion circuit.
Oh, okay.
So like green is like your tube screamer kind of deal. Blue is.
Can you show us the difference?
Blue, yeah, I can try. Let me see if I can get it.
I mean, you don't have to worry about like twisting knobs for every one. Just kind of.
They're just, slightly different, but the drive side is the same way. It has the 2 sides on it, 4 or 5. I guess that was 4. Yeah, 4 different circuits on each one. I think it's this one.
Pretty compressing. Show me that other side. Oh, so it's lower. Yeah. Cycle through those real quick, if you don't mind. Oh, wow. I like that side better.
I like it too. I think the blue is supposed to be like the blues breaker.
Okay.
It sounds. That's the blue one's one of my favorites too. You can put it in front of like a amp that's just right on the edge, and it just takes it. So yeah, same deal.
That's cool, man. That's,
and it's
I've never heard of that pedal.
It's all MIDI controllable too. It's got a TRS jack.
That's a pretty cool pedal.
Yeah, that you can MIDI. A lot of that Jackson Audio stuff is like that. That's that tip ring sleeve MIDI stuff. It's awesome because you can just cycle through that Bloom compressor is like that. It's got several different compressors.
Stop it.
I got a boomerang right when you kicked him.
Perfect. Luca, stop.
Tagging PETA.
It's like there's chips down here or something.
Riveting.
It's riveted.
I don't know what that was. There's a little piece of something. He wanted it real bad.
Deer and beer.
Look at all your fingernails.
I smashed them with some damn weights, and they fell off, and they just ain't growed back yet. Still working on it.
I'm glad we got that.
Did you get that?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah,
Smashed them with some damn weights.
whole damn things fell off.
Damn it right, don't set them up. They're going to get falled
The
off.
promo for this is just going to be Martin being country as fuck.
That's not very hard. I can do that.
Yeah, it's not very hard for you. I believe George Strait wrote a song about it, and it's called It Just Comes Natural.
It just comes natural. He does. Schultz used to sing that song.
Me too. I still do sometimes.
I've never heard Schultz sing.
Oh, really?
You never came to a beef gig with Josh on it?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
Tim was always on it.
No.
No? The only 2 times I went to Paradise Park when you and Shay and
That was a Wednesday gig with Lewis.
Harry was playing. Okay, so different band. Yeah.
Lewis.
Lewis, that's right.
Have you seen him lately?
I've talked to him briefly. He's clean.
I heard he was.
Yeah.
Is he here though?
I don't know.
I thought that he was here, and
I
then
think so.
I knew he was in jail for a little while. Or
No, he was definitely in jail. He's out of jail. He got clean in jail, as jail will often do
it
to you.
does. Sometimes you don't, but
Sometimes you don't. That's like as the Office Space guys put it, the federal pound me in the ass prison.
yeah.
It's a great movie.
Welcome back to Gear and
Welcome
Hardened
back
Felons.
to Gear and Beer and Office Space. So, you said it's called the Daddy Caster or the Silver Caster because it's got a silver tone.
It's called the
neck.
Silver Caster. Eddie called it the Daddy Caster because my dad built the body and the neck belonged to his guitar. But sometime in the 70s, my dad was playing in a band, and the guitar player, his name was Jim Falmer. I got to remember to stay on this mic, or otherwise it's going to be like, sound like a Leslie cabinet going off in here. He was needing a guitar that would do everything, and he had a bunch of parts and stuff, and he loved the way this neck felt, how it felt.
I love the way that neck feeled.
He did love the way this neck felt. But anyways, so my dad just pulled it off this silver tone hollow body guitar that he had, and then my dad built the body and cut out the.
Oh, so he made a specific neck pocket for it.
Yeah, for this neck, because this is it's a very
interesting.
It's not very wide, and the joint is different. So my dad just built the body for the neck, and they called it the Silver Caster. It's got all kind of. It's a bastard, lots of different parts. But
it's all like old cool shit.
It is all cool stuff. Yeah.
Well, run it down.
This is a first year patent number pickup.
Bridge pickup for the listeners.
Yeah. The cover's been taken off, and then my dad, I'm guessing, cut this out of some sort of plexiglass or something. I don't know what Lexan. But anyways, the bridge is from a 60 something 345 that I believe Alan Hines has. Maybe if Alan doesn't have it, Shannon Wallace has it. One of those guys has it.
I know Alan. Who's Shannon Wallace?
Another guitar player. He lives in Florida. He's one of the main reasons I play guitar. He played at church there with my dad at this church called the Rock and Roll Church. Lots of badass musicians played there. It was awesome.
In Op?
No, in Destin, Florida.
Oh.
We moved to Destin when I was in fourth grade, but before I was in fourth grade. Hurricane hit. My dad built houses. Wiped out a bunch of stuff. He went down there to start rebuilding and trying to do all that, and so we moved down there for a few years. But
you could have moved someplace nice.
Yeah, it was nice, but not. It's not like it is now. It was way different back then.
Nothing's like it was.
But yeah,
like it is now.
And that hurricane took out a bunch
Yeah,
because I used to visit all the time.
It wiped out a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of those houses down there on 30A and stuff, my dad had part in rebuilding a bunch of those houses and building new houses down there. He did a ton. But anyway, so
after that, he built this guitar.
Way before that, he built this guitar. This was sometime in the 70s. And so, patent number pickup, 50s Dan Electro lipstick tube pickup.
That's cool shit. The two-piece cover.
Yep. And then this mini humbucker is out of a 1969 Gibson Deluxe Les Paul. And the switching system is crazy. Everything is on its own three-way toggle, which puts it in.
All right, you're just gonna have to give us an audio example as you're working through all that.
Yeah, because I don't actually know how. I don't actually remember the exact way it's wired up, and I don't
know how you possibly could.
I received this guitar for my birthday not long before Jim passed away. He gave it to me before he died, but anyway, so the middle position is off. So if there's nothing, on there, nothing happens. Then you've got your bridge pickup. Then you've got bridge and neck in parallel, I'm guessing. And then bridge and neck in series.
Oh, in series?
Or maybe it's just some sort of out of phase.
It's out of phase.
I know it's out of phase, but
that's a cool sound.
yeah, not usable and everything, but it's definitely cool to have.
It gets really close to, it's not exact, but it's close to that Strat position too.
A little more quacky, almost like there's a wah-wah pedal turned on or something.
Yeah, it's definitely more like a Telly bridge pickup, but
they all will work that way, so you can freaking also. So now they're all three on, and one of them is in that out of phase.
No.
You mean take them out?
And then.
That sounds like a wah pedal, like cocked all the way forward. So which pickups is that?
That's all three of them turned on in the same direction. Whichever, I don't like I said, I didn't get a real good rundown on, and there were no written instructions on the way this thing was put together. So, like, even just changing where these two front pickups are, it's still kind of got that out of phase, like quacky sound, but it's different than the other one.
Endless tonal options.
Yeah.
Shut up. Awesome. Luca demands to be heard. That's so many different tonal options.
Yeah, it's wild.
Shut up.
And I use it a bunch if I'm working on tracking something at the house or something like that, because I can do so many different things.
God bless it. All right, let's cut real quick.
Guitar.
Good God.
He's like, I gotta take a leak, Dad.
Deer and beer.
5.2. That's the
5.2.
lyric, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I sang that the other day. Somebody did. I was doing an acoustic duo gig. You know Jacob Reynolds? Mm-mm. He's a talented dude. Anyway, I was playing this acoustic duo gig with him on Thursday morning on Second Fiddle Roof. Great spot for a gig at that time. And he did that. And as soon as he's, you know, da 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 da, I'm in a, and I just went right into it. I knew it was coming, so I pulled up the lyrics. I never sang that song before, and it just came right back to me because we used to do that song all the time.
Yeah, we did. We crushed it.
And I always had to sing that super freaking
We had them
high
vocals
part.
down.
God, that shit was so high. And
I hear a voice.
I hear a voice.
I always hated that part in the song.
I love it. It's so 80s.
Yeah.
Even though it's, I think it's
I was,
actually
yeah,
90s.
I was like, that was 90s, but
Yeah,
it is,
it's 90s,
it is
but
80s.
it's 80s.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
It told me a secret about the Super Bowl. You remember that? He used to say, told me a secret about the Super Bowl. I don't even remember what the real line is now because that's all I can think about.
Sing that chorus.
Alabama on the jukebox. It was that Florida Georgia line
yeah,
song.
I know, but I can't think of how it goes.
Jukebox baby. I can't remember it now. Crazy. Saturday night. I can't remember the words. I can remember the melody, but
Sing me the melody because I can't remember it at all.
oh fuck, I don't remember what key it's in. I think it's an A though. Or is
It starts on F.
Oh, Alabama. That's it. Jukebox baby, about to get a little boondock crazy. Sun is hell of a ride. Anything goes on a Saturday. That's something like that.
What's the second half? Anyway,
Told me a secret about the Super Bowl. That's what he used to sing.
that's what I used to always
He used
sing.
to sing that. I was like, what were you saying? He's like, told me a secret about the Super Bowl. I'm like, that's not what it says at all. It's not even close. He's like, sounds right. I'm like, I guess. Yeah, it does. Kind of
If you're
sound right.
singing backgrounds, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Man.
Long as the notes are there.
There's a lot of songs I don't know the words to, but I know
I
I know the vowel sounds and the progression of the vowel sounds.
And as long as you sing them with the singer, it don't matter.
Exactly.
Gosh.
Hopefully any good sound guy doesn't have me that loud in the front anyway.
Man,
My wife at an hour and a half ago said, "Y'all done or what?"
my wife actually texted me an hour and a half ago and said, are y'all done yet?
The only reason mine didn't is because she's out for the first time in months.
Hanging out or like out of town?
I just saw a video of her ass crowd surfing on Instagram.
Your wife?
Yeah.
Damn, where's she at?
We've been married a week and I look on Instagram and she's out at a.
She's like, I'm a
she
free
had a
woman now.
She had a
God.
Chili Peppers concert? What's
She let
happening?
loose, man. You better be wearing your ring, Jessica.
Yeah,
She doesn't listen to this podcast.
that's probably best. For her.
Probably, I don't imagine there's many people's wives listening to.
Oh, she
us talk about
hates hearing
gear
me and
beer.
Rob talk about gear.
Oh yeah, Mine too.
Aaron, like,
She's like, didn't get it. Don't know what you're.
Aaron,
talking
like, chastised us the other day.
She's good at that. Love you, man.
She don't watch either.
That's true, but she hears me edit it. Where are the questions? Oh, here we go. All right, so
Hold on, I was not prepared for any pre-prepared questions.
these are not pre-prepared.
My
but
manager did not approve these. No, I'm just kidding.
I do not want deliberation. I want off the top of your head.
All right.
Feel free to elaborate or not, whatever you want to do. The first question is and will always be. So, hang on. Let me preface by saying these are not choices that any person should have to make, but we're making you make them because someone once told us that we should ask like questions, and so we just blindly dove into that chasm.
All right.
Metallica or Megadeth?
Metallica.
Miles or Coltrane?
Miles.
Metheny or Schofield?
Metheny. I don't know. That's hard.
They're all hard.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I think.
I was just thinking. So stupid.
I think I'll go with that. I'll stick with that.
Fair enough. David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
Now or then? In their prime?
I just want you to tell me now.
Because now I'm definitely going with Sammy Hagar because he still sings his ass off.
That's true.
David Lee Roth recently has.
he's
did.
kind of like a caricature of his former
I
self.
think
Yeah.
in their prime.
In their prime? Oh, man, that's still hard.
Your
'Cause
favorite
they're
of,
so
of
really
each
good.
of their best.
My favorite of each of their best. I mean, the freaking.
The
50
Balance record is badass.
So good.
It's badass.
So good.
Great freaking record. The Twister song was badass. Not same record, but the same vibe.
I loved a lot. I mean, I loved a
Those
lot of
first
both
four
of them. The
records were-
freaking.
1984 is their best record. That's one of the best records I've ever heard. Drop Dead Legs. That's OU812 though, right? Yeah.
If you want to see other guy, I love that song. But I mean, it's hard to beat that freaking Running with the Devil, freaking David Lee Roth stuff. I mean,
It's hard to beat the David Lee Roth stuff soloed out from the rest of it. Yeah, all the soundboards
dude,
that people use
they're
to make.
so good. That There I Ruined It page.
Yeah.
Oh God, so good.
What a weird world we live in.
It's a strange place that we're in now. Yeah.
Steve Vai or Joe Satriani?
Probably Joe Satriani.
Wrong. Dolly or Reba?
I had to think about that. I'm gonna go with Reba on that.
You're consistent, if nothing else.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Reba.
I don't know why, but it's just fun to throw shade at Joe Satriani. Mostly because of, well, anyway.
Like I feel like I would rather be like I need like Paul Gilbert. I'd pick Paul Gilbert over both of
Well,
them.
you'll get your chance. Yngwie or James Burton?
James Burton.
That's a choice between two giant assholes.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never met either one of them.
I've never met either one of them, but I've heard horror stories from multiples about both.
Wow, I've never heard. I've heard plenty about Yngwie, not very many about James.
I've only recently been hearing stuff about James. That's not
But do you
good.
think it's because he's like 95
No, it's
and he's
it's
just
from
fed up
old-
at this point? He's like, fuck these
It's
kids.
from older cats in a lot of cases.
Okay.
So, and also there's like a bunch of stories.
Oh, okay. Well,
You know, whatever. He's badass. Who cares?
Everybody's a kid and the world is his lawn.
Yeah, people are dickheads often. Sometimes even me, and I'm very sweet. John Petrucci or Paul Gilbert?
Paul Gilbert.
My favorite question, as always. Geddy Lee or Geddy Lee?
Eddie Lee, for sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Jazz or metal?
Like straight ahead jazz.
Jazz or metal? Define it whatever way you want to. Just tell me.
It's hard.
Yeah, that's kind of
What she said.
there we go.
Hey,
Swimming in it.
gosh, I don't know, man. Because, like, I love both of them.
Me too.
What did you say?
I picked jazz.
Did you?
It has dynamics.
Yeah.
Even metal that has dynamics doesn't really have dynamics because it's extremely compressed. It's part of the aesthetic of the style, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't get drums like that without a lot of compression.
That's true. Yeah, I'd probably have to go with jazz too.
And just the melodies that live through jazz that you don't get with. And I love the energy. Whether sometimes it's like brutal, sometimes it's like sad, happy. You can do a lot of things with metal. And they just dynamically. Also, it's a lot of like 2 to 5K in metal recordings, and that will wear your ears out in
sure will.
30 minutes. Hot or cold?
Just in general, would I rather be hot or cold?
Hot or cold?
I'd rather be cold because I can always cover it. Once I get naked, I can't get my skin off.
Exactly. That's the correct answer.
You can, but
yeah, it ain't very
terrible.
pleasant, I don't think.
Live or session?
Live.
Volume pedal or knob?
Pedal.
This question is, do you use compression live? But I know that answer to be yes.
Yes.
Jazz or precision?
P-bass.
That's the Nashville answer. Do you know who John Paul Jones is?
Yes.
Okay. I just found out yesterday that he was in Them Crooked Vultures. I didn't realize that.
I did not know that either.
It's like
Damn.
Josh Homme, Dave Grohl, and John Paul Jones.
Damn.
Really?
That's
a super group.
yeah. That's what I found out last night.
All right.
Unless I am mistaken about something, which is extremely possible and quite frankly likely. What's your favorite pedal?
Right now or ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, my favorite pedal is this H90, just because it's got so much.
That's a good
really
answer.
cool
That's a
stuff on
fucking
it.
cool pedal. Favorite artist to listen to? I already know the answer to that.
Vince Gill.
No, Black Hawk.
Well, that's pretty close.
Yeah, I know. It is. No, it's even if you think it's Vince Gill, it's Black Hawk.
Oh, okay. I do love Black Hawk.
I know. And because of you, I also love Black Hawk.
All right.
I do Goodbye Says It All once or twice a week. Great song.
Is that what we're going to end the show with today?
We can. Do you know that song?
Yeah. To play it, no.
Can you sing one of the 3 parts on the chorus? Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And the melody goes, goodbye, this stays there. And then the other 2 move, and it's freaking awesome.
God,
It
it's
is
awesome.
Awesome. Great freaking song.
No is the answer.
What's your favorite thing to do outside of music and gear?
Well, it used to be fishing. Now it's being with my kids and stuff.
I knew
wife
that
and
shit was
kids.
coming.
Yeah.
You're wearing a dad shirt in San Diego.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
It's hard. It's a hard thing to beat. I mean, like music has been something that's been the most important thing in my life for my whole life until you have kids, and then you're like, wow, that doesn't matter as much anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still matters.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't
most
think that anybody
of most
thinks that's what
things.
you thought.
But you start having a family and wife and kids and stuff. That stuff becomes, the main source of your drive. You're like, I got to make sure these people that are depending on me are taken
I got to
care
make
of.
sure these people will remain alive
Exactly.
and well.
Yeah,
Those are pretty important things, I'd
they
say.
are. I feel like it.
I just have a wife and a dog, and I try to keep them alive as often as
Very
possible.
important things also.
Do you have? I know you got a lot of stuff, and you like all your stuff.
I do.
What's the holy grail thing that you're one day wanting to complete the arsenal? Presumably a guitar.
A guitar.
I would think that would be the crowning thing is a specific guitar, because those are the hardest things to find.
I would like to have like a 53, 54 Telecaster, freaking Black Guard, the real deal. Like, that would be awesome. As far as amps go, I would love to have a freaking steel string singer. 150 watt version, the Stevie. The one like Mayer uses.
Yeah. I hear that.
But I also don't have $500,000 to pay for it, so. Or the $125,000 it would cost me to get that guitar either.
I don't know.
But
why
I'm hoping I'll get that.
I don't know why I didn't see Steel String Singer coming. I should have. I was assuming you were going to say like 57 Tweed Deluxe or something.
No.
I forget.
I've had opportunities at stuff like that. That stuff is, still somewhat obtainable.
Well,
stuff that I really want is usually like shit.
You can find like a 61 or 62 that'll do that 57 thing for a quarter of the price. Boo's got a 61 Tweed Deluxe. It's like a Frankenstein, but it's like the original speaker and one of the original Transformers, and it sounds like $1 million, dude. It sounds like $1 million. Well, as a matter of fact, I was there when he found it. We found it at Groon. And he was like, can you tell me about this? And of course they could. And he was like, this and this and this and this and this. So it cost, this very reasonable. I mean, it's about what you would pay for a 65 Blackface. Is what he got a 61 Tweed Deluxe for. And it does the thing, man. It does the thing.
Ford's had several of them. I took Ford's freaking bunches of his. Me and Ford lived together for 3 years or so we were constantly
episode 32, guess.
Yeah, and so we were constantly. I was constantly borrowing his stuff. He just like, yeah, take it, whatever. And yet when Boog had his shop over there, he would freaking. That's one of my biggest things. Is like, I wish he had that shop still. It was so fun to go in there, and he was just like, he was so cool,
fun.
And like, the folks that he knew, he'd just be like, yeah, take it and try it. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, bring it back. I tried several different amps out that way, and he was always just in there playing, showing stuff, and I was like, man, this is
the first time I ever walked in there. I went in there by myself, and he goes, dude. As soon as I walked in, there's nobody else in there. Never met him before. Barely lived in Nashville for 3 months. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go there. I know this place. I'm going in there. And he goes, dude, check this out. And he comes out from behind the counter, sets his Coors Light down, and comes out from behind the counter. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's totally reasonable time for Coors Light.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't drink Coors Light at any time, but Tom, you come on here, I'll buy you all the Rolling Rocks you want. He handed me a Carina Flying V and plugged it into a car. What's it? A Vincent or a 6V or
6V? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a car 6V.
Those are cool.
And I made a bunch of sounds that like hitting wrong notes on Guitar Hero, and then he goes, "Let me see it." And he grabbed it, and he put his leg up on the amp, and he put the guitar in his, and he started playing. His eyes closed, and his head just went up like that shit. And he just started playing this amazing shit, and I was like, I quit. I was just like, I quit.
Dude, I know. I would just go in there and just wait for him to start playing, because it was almost inevitable that he was going to play at some point. And if you were like playing something that was even remotely cool to him, he'd be like, "Oh, that's awesome. Let me show you this, what you could do with it." And I'd be like, yes, free lessons. I'm just trying to soak it in. It was so awesome because he was such a freaking good dude and like not a normal music store owner. Most of them were out to just like get you. They wanted to get their money. I remember, and
he just wanted to see cool things.
Absolutely.
So he could suck them up.
And so I was in there one day, and I think it was just me and him. And I'm like looking at stuff.
He basically had his own Facebook marketplace.
Absolutely. And I was like, he had 2 Marshall 810 cabs, like the ones like Stevie used, which is what I'd been looking for. I'm a Stevie fan, obviously steel string singer. I was like, man, I would love to have me one of these freaking cabs. And he had, $900 on one and $1,100 on the other, something like that. And I'm like, man, how much will you take? Like, what's the best you can do for the cheaper one? He's like, you like those cabs, man? I'm like, hell yeah. He was like, I tell you what. He was like, I got a couple of them at the house already that are all fixed up. I was going to fix those up, but they're just sitting here. I don't need 4 of them. He was like, so I'll sell it to you for $700. And I'm like, $700 for that cab right there? He's like, $700 for both of them. I'm like, $700 for both of them? I couldn't get the money fast enough. I was like, hold on, I was still in my Suburban. I was like, let me load these bitches up. I'm getting them out of here before he changes his mind. 2, yeah, and I've still got them. It's a 69.
I remember
Yeah,
when you
69,
got 'em.
810.
Or I've seen them at least.
Yeah, 69 810 Marshall cab and a 1970 810 Marshall cab. $700.
My ears are
And he
ringing
was just
thinking about it.
like so pleased and happy that he could sell them to me, and I was just like ecstatic because I'd never seen one for anywhere even close to $700. The cheapest one I'd ever seen was like $1,500, and that was for one. And I got both of them, and one of them had blown speakers. That was the cheaper one, and the other one had all the original speakers, and they all work. The only thing that was missing on it was the actual Marshall logo had come off, but everything else was original. It was fucking dope. They sound so awesome.
I don't know if I've ever heard you play one. I feel like I've heard you play at least once or twice. Maybe like
For a while I was carrying
T-Town
it. For a while I was carrying them both on the road. I had my high watt running through one, and then my Marshall 100 super bass.
this motherfucker was running 16 10s and 200 watts of guitar.
I believe it.
It sounded awesome though.
You come close to taking first place for amount of gear brought to one of these episodes.
We were a trio then. Who brought the most?
No, he's saying that you.
I'm the top.
you,
close. I think. I mean, I don't know who brought more.
Eddie brought 4 guitars and a pedal board. I don't think anybody else is. So it's either you or Eddie.
That sounds
That
about right. That sounds about right. That's right.
Same trailer.
Yeah.
Man, one of the times I have one more anecdote about second gear. One of the other first times I ever walked in there, I was just like, my wife I wasn't married to her and she didn't live here yet. And I was like, I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to see what's happening. Maybe I'll see something cool. And I walked in there and there's nobody in the front. And I just hear extremely loud guitar coming from the back. So I walked back there and he has four 64 Vibroluxes that he's shooting out. And he goes, I don't know, man. What do you think? Is the first thing he said to me. I was like, about what? I don't know what's happening. I just got here.
What is the question pertaining to?
Yeah, and he goes, well, listen to this one. And he plugs it into what ended up being his, and his by far sounded the best. It was kind of amazing how different they all sounded.
God. Yeah.
They're the same components. So it's, in my opinion, got to completely be dependent on care over the years and like how it was stored and what kind of humidity, those kinds of
I have
different things.
Yeah, I have 3 blackface basswinds, and they all sound different. One of them actually belonged to Tom at one point, but I bought mine when the market was not crazy on them. I don't have any of those heads that I've got, like the blackface stuff. Like the most I've paid for a blackface head, like I've got the Showman. I paid $500 for that. My favorite Fender amp that I've got is a 67 Blackline silver face, like transition.
Yeah.
Dual Showman. It's my favorite Fender amp I've got.
I remember that one. That's the one in the Mojo Tone.
Yeah,
can,
I paid $700 for that. But those basements, I didn't pay more than $400 for any of the 3 basements I've got.
I paid $900 for a drip edge like 2 years ago.
Yeah. And those strip edges are good too.
Oh, and Justin worked on it, so it's
Dude,
real good.
it
Justin, anything Justin works.
sounds amazing.
He knows how to get it right.
What's that clock say? D80?
You got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
4.5.
All right. Give me, off the top of your head, no deliberation. You'd probably give me a different answer tomorrow. That's the kind of answer that I want. 3 desert island records.
Asia.
Steely Dan?
Yeah. Oh God.
Asia's a great choice. I don't know if anybody's picked that one yet.
The Eagles' greatest hits. That the greatest. You know which one I'm talking about. The one that sold 40 billion copies or whatever.
Yeah,
it sold.
like quadruple diamond or fucking something stupid.
And then probably
Eagles' greatest hits.
yeah, and then wow.
Blackhawks' greatest hits.
Well, if I had 5, I could get it in
3. You have one
there.
more.
But I don't have. Fuck. All right, so I did Steely Dan, Asia, Eagles' greatest hits.
Tim Miller Trio 2.
I'm gonna play some Tim Miller when we're smoking.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear
later.
it. Probably.
It's out.
It would probably have to be. Probably a Vince record.
Pick one. Do it now.
What's the one with freaking?
Take Your Memory.
Take Your Memory. Which one is that? Is that the key?
I don't know.
What the Cowgirls Do? That was a great one too.
Yeah, that's a good one. Pick one.
What the Cowgirls?
Pocket Full of Gold.
Pocket Full of Gold.
Pocket Full of Gold.
I'll take that. Yeah. Pocket Full of Gold.
That's a great one. Weird. I just accidentally, my thumb just accidentally typed "try mom." What? No. Well, we got 2 minutes left, so
Okay.
we're going to put you in the cruncher.
Here it goes.
I want quickly your professional accomplishment that you're most proud of.
Professional accomplishment.
That record deal and that pub deal probably up there, I would imagine.
Yeah, those are definitely up there. Pub deal. The
Got to be quick.
Alan Jackson tour stuff was really awesome. Getting to be on tour with somebody that iconic was pretty incredible.
That's pretty badass, especially considering where you come from and your country. But being raised like that,
Absolutely.
that's certainly not my experience. So I can certainly appreciate that. All right, so we got the final question, and then I'm going to ask you for one more record. Okay. Matter of fact, let's do the record first. Album of the week. Give me the album.
Album
can be anything.
of the week.
Something you've been into, something that you've been meaning to get into, a classic that you know, comfort record.
Black Hawk Greatest Hits.
There we go. We finally got it in
I just
there.
knew you were waiting on it.
I'm here for it. Okay, now you're in the question that we call the King's Court. You have to decide between all of the kings. Albert, BB, Freddie, Earl, Carol, or King's X?
I'm going to go with Albert.
Albert, okay, there you have it. It has been decided. He has chosen Albert King. You heard it here first. We will link Martin's music. We will link all the things that we said we would. Lyndon McCarty, Twisting and Tweaking. Go to the show notes. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to the Gear and Beer podcast. We would ask that you please be sure to tell your friends about the podcast. And if you haven't already, subscribe and follow our Instagram and YouTube channels, as well as liking and commenting on our posts. Are there guests you want to see on the podcast? Topics you want us to talk about or pieces of gear? Let us know. All these kinds of things feed the algorithms in a positive way and help us gain more traction, whereby enabling us to continue to bring you ever-improving content and guests. Thanks again, Gearheads. We truly appreciate your support, and we'll see you back here soon for another episode of Oh, man.